Okay, chapter 3.5, this is the last chapter in descriptive statistics, numerical descriptive statistics. Here we will be talking about 5-number summary and using 5-number summary, how we can draw a box plot. So we're going to talk about. So first, 5-number summary, as you can probably guess from the name of it, it is the tool that we use to summarize the data set using 5 numbers. Okay, so those 5 numbers are minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3, and maximum. And now we actually learn what the quartiles are, Q1, Q2, Q3. We actually know all this, what all this number means. I'm giving you 2 examples here. The first example and even second example is a little silly because first example has a data point of 5 of data points, and here what we're trying to do is using 5 number to summarize the data set, which is 5. So it's kind of silly, but this is for the demonstration purpose. I just chose to have a really small sample size here. Okay, so for the first example, you can kind of see what's the minimum. Okay. What's the minimum? Minimum is obviously 5, right? And the maximum 12, right? And the easiest way of finding the Q1, Q2, Q3, and again, we're going to do it by hand a couple times, but eventually we'll probably get the box plot drawn in the StatCrunch. But anyway, Q2 is same as median, right? So median was the middle value. Once you order it, and conveniently, this data fit is actually ordered already. So if you look at this number ordered, middle value is 10. So your Q2 median will be 10. Okay. And then to find Q1 and Q3, what we're going to do is we're going to divide our data set into 2 sets. So here we're going to, depending on what textbook will be arguing whether your set should include the median value or not, but I think it's actually more typical to include the median value. So your set, first set will be these 3 values, okay? And then second set will be these 3 values, okay? Then you are kind of dividing your data set into 2 groups. So the first group, where is the median? What's the middle value? The first group, this 8 is the middle value, right? So this guy is the middle value in the first group, so that will be Q1. And in the second set, the middle value is 12. So your Q3 will be 12. So that's 5 number. When you have a even number data set, here your minimum is 5, your maximum is 19. Your median is middle value, which is between 11 and 12. So your median is 11.5. And now you divide your data set into 2. This time it is a little easier, right? Because it is an even number of data points. So you don't need to worry about whether you're going to include the median or not. Anyways, so in here to find the Q1 and Q2, you are going to find the median, the middle value. So middle value in the first group will be 9 and second group will be 16. Here we are. So those are the 5 value summary that you can actually calculate. And with that 5 number, we can draw a box plot. And as you can see in this picture, the very top one is max. And then there's a little box in the middle. That's why we call that box plot. And then there's a box, the highest box value is Q3, middle, median, Q1, and then the whiskers go till the minimum value. So here it is. This is called whiskers. max, Q3, median, Q1, and minimum. Okay, that's how 5-number summary is used in the box plot. Okay, so in very quick, another example. Here is the example of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your sample size is equal to 10. Okay, so your minimum value is 1. Your maximum value is 59. Your median value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between these two values, so your median is 11. Again, to get Q1 and Q3, you're going to divide your data set into two groups like this, 5-number and 5-number. Okay, so Q1 will be median value. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your median in the first group is 6, and the second group is 19, right? Okay, so we got all this value. So from this value, if you draw a box plot in a scale, I guess, you can actually do it horizontally or vertically. Let's do it this way. So here's your 0, here's your 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, okay, here is your minimum value is 1, so it's somewhere over here, right above your line here. There. And 6 is right here, 11, 19, and 59 right here. So your box will look like this, right? So that's what the box plot will look like. Notice that you have a relatively shorter whiskers to the bottom side, the minimum side. Oops. And then the longer side in the, let me see. Okay. This whisker is rather short, and this has a really long whiskers, right? Long whisker. So that's, we're gonna probably revisit that, and you will see what I mean by that when we do that. Okay, so finding outliers. So in a previous slide, you see that the really long whiskers. So when you have a really extremely long whiskers, you kind of wonder who is that the 59, the largest value outlier, the weird value, or is it reasonably in the range of the data set? So depending on whether you have an outlier or not, your box plot will look a little different too. So that's what we're gonna actually do it here. There are different definition of outliers. In box plot, we're using this definition of outlier. And to make a long story short, we're gonna calculate something called IQR, which is this Q3 minus Q1 interquartile range, we also call that. The lower fence is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR, upper fence is Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. And that is giving us some fence, lower fence and upper fence. The data set is outside of this fence. We are calling that outliers. And then once we find the outlier in the box plot, we're gonna actually mark it as outlier. So that's what we're gonna do. So in our the previous data set, what was the Q3? I actually forgot. Can we undo this? Okay, here we are. So your Q3 was 19 and Q1 it was 6. So your IQR Q3 minus Q1, your IQR is equal to 19 minus 6, which is 13. I think I need to actually write down all these values. Okay. Oops. Hold on a second. Okay, I actually need these values. 1, 6, 11, 19, 59. 1, 6, 11, 15, 11, 19, 59. 1, 1, 6, 11, 19, 59. Okay, so that one was Q3, Q2, Q1, minimum and maximum. Okay, once more, we kind of wonder, is this outlier, right? 59 is outlier. Okay, so here we are. So Q3 interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1, which is 19, minus 6, which is 13. And lower fence is Q1, here 6, minus 1.5 times 13. And upper fence is 19 plus 1.5 times interquartile range. So if you calculate the lower fence, so 1.5 times 13 is 19.3. This will be negative 13.5. And then plus 19. Upper fence will be 38.5. Okay, do you see any outlier? Again, let's go back to our original data set. Do you see anything smaller than negative 13.5 or larger than 38.5? Right, that value 59 is actually outside of it. Okay, so that is actually outlier. So if we go back to this graph, so remember that we draw the graph. I'm going to draw it again. 1, 6, 19, 11, 19, and 59. That one was our original box plot looked like. But now we actually know that this is outlier. So when it is an outlier, we actually mark on it. So mark like this. Some put the asterisk mark or some use the dot. And then the second largest, your whisker go down to the second largest, which is 21 here. Right? So everything else will be exactly same. So the second part, this guy is called modified box plot. And that's typically all the other statistical package will actually give you. When there is an outlier, you will actually see some mark that is different. Yeah, but anyway, well, that's the box plot. Okay, cannot really erase that part. Don't worry about that. Okay, so we're gonna go back to StatCrunch and use the class survey data set. I just copy and paste the actual results here, but we're gonna actually go back. Okay. Let's see. If you go StatCrunch, we are. Okay, don't worry about that, Mark. You go back, you go to graph, and there's a box plot. And then you're gonna have hours of socializing still. And then I will actually stick with on and off campus there as well. Then you can change other things, but I think we're good here. Okay, and then you will see this box plot, a side by side box plot. So this is off-campus student, these are on-campus student. These are box plot. Once more, there's a whiskers, there's a Q1, Q2, Q3, minimum, maximum value, these Q1 minus Q3 minus Q1 is interquartile range. So all of this kind of makes sense. You kind of see that the on-campus students has a larger median value. So they spend more time socializing. Their median value is large. Also, you kind of notice that there are a whole bunch of these values, dots, right? Those are apparently all outliers. Okay? So these are all outliers outside of your upper fence if you actually calculate it by hand. And so apparently, when you're looking at that, you can kind of imagine that, okay, on campus students, there are a number of students who are really extremely spending more time socializing. So you can kind of compare off campus, on campus socializing hour in that way.